Hello everyone and welcome back to another league racing video. Today we're here for round number 2 in WOR and we are here for the first ever sprint race I've taken part in a league race ever. You know, we've done sprint races in my team this year, but this is my first time experiencing this in an online league race. Now first of all, if you haven't seen round 1, the season opener in Austria, go check it out guys, link in the top right. As there might be some spoilers ahead, so go check that one out. But yeah, if you're going to enjoy this one, leave a like. Let's try and see some support on this series, guys, if you enjoy the league racing content. And yeah, you're joining me right now in qualifying on our very first lap. Now, it's been a pretty safe one so far. Through turn 10, though, we make a bit of a mistake and got stuck on that curb. As you hear me say, we got stuck on the curb a bit and just missed our apex. Now we're going to talk about the championship standings at the end of the video / next episode. I'm not going to show the standings just yet as nothing's really happened, but yeah, as you guys know, I am currently pointless, so it doesn't make any sense to show it anyway. Either way, finishing the lap purple in sector 2 apparently. Not a great lap, pretty scruffy so far. And you can hear me say I'm not really happy with the lap up until this point. I've also just tweaked my camera settings a little bit for this one, and I did put in a pretty decent bit of practice, about 3 hours of practice for this one across the day, trying to find some pace. Now the first lap, a 1:28.2 wasn't great, and it wasn't really what I expected or hoped for. The pace in time trial was a lot better. I could do regular 0.3, 0.4s, and my personal best was a high 0.2, and that being a 27.2. That was close. A full second faster than what we're doing right now. Our second lap is a 1:27.9, which is better, but not enough. Pace isn't there at the minute. And you can hear me a little bit disappointed really as the pace isn't quite there. That lap actually felt okay, but for some reason it didn't really turn out in lap time. It's the second sector, I've got to try and commit a bit more, find something. Now then, with that said, we have one more attempt left. This is also our last set of tyres, so we're going to send it, and we're going to see if we can hopefully nail it on the last lap. Qualifying, as you guys know from the last couple of games, isn't my strong suit. I'm definitely more about the race, Sunday drive. That's where I seem to do well with the race fuel, but nonetheless, let's give everything. Down to turn 1, spot the 100, down to 4th or 3rd, depends on your preference. I just missed the apex, but we do get decent traction and nice drive out of turn 2 and 3, so we're going to be up by a fraction into turn 4. Brake as the curb starts on the left. Again, just missing my apex, but we do get good drive and a decent exit as we make our way through down to sector 2, through the downhill lefts and rights as we plunge into turn number 8. Third gear through here, again, just missing my apex a little bit, but still we get good drive and a decent exit, which is going to make up for that time loss. Through turn 9, nice wide entry to straight line brake into 10, and then be very patient and try to keep the throttle on a little bit at all times to keep that momentum and that minimum speed high through there. Into turn 11, nice and aggressive, a little bit too aggressive actually. I actually lost time. There was some missing brake markables and I lost my reference point in the braking zone, so I lost about half a tenth to a tenth of a second through there. Luckily, through turn 14 I believe, we absolutely nail it. We got a great run through there, really good exit, and we're now 3/10 up into the final corner. Braking about 70 meters, 4th gear, shifting to 5th on the short shift, and then using all the run-off curb to get the drive as we open DRS up to the line, and it's P5. There was a bit more in that. Let me look at some splits real quick. What did Drake do? Point 2, but 0.1 PB first sector. My first sector was actually quite poor, Now, overall, looking and analysing the lap as a whole, I think I could have done a better first sector, even though it felt okay at the time. Watching it back, I missed the apexes at 1 and 4. I reckon there was about half a tenth in the first sector, and then as I mentioned in turn 11, the brake markables were missing, so I messed up that corner, and I reckon I dropped about a tenth between that and also the exit because of the line that I took. So I do think I could have done better. I think realistically P5 would have been quite easily achievable, to be fair, had I just got a bit of a cleaner lap together. But still, we clutched up at the end. We've got a half decent lap in, and we set a 27.6. There is your final results, and you can see it's very damn close. The top 10 or the top P11 really covered by 3/10 and a bit more of a gap to P12, but still only 14 drivers on this grid as we now jump into the sprint race. Now then, here we go for the sprint as the lights are on here. We're going to jump straight to the action, of course, no formation lap. Cold tyre start, by the way, and look at this launch. We get as good of a start as Jonas Martins on the soft tyre, and we bolt off the line down to turn 1, down the inside, trying to make up some places here. Cold tyres, gotta be careful. And you can see the cold tyres, you know, taking effect as everyone struggles for grip at this phase of the race, and yeah, everyone's trying to race flat out, but the tyres are stone cold. Up to P6 though, we've gained the place. Into turn 4 though, Norgrove is going to fight back around the outside, and I was kind of limited there by the Ferrari in front. I wasn't able to brake too late, otherwise I may have lost my front wing, and actually Jed goes around the outside, makes a nice move there, as we're going to think about re-challenging into turn 8, but instead actually his teammate Harvey Cowan goes for the move here as we just about keep him at bay. He's now going to switch back and try the outside into 9 and 10, but we're going to hold the inside line and keep it nice and clean, and we managed to stay in front for now, as then this time Harvey gets the cut back, but you can see here we've got decent straight line speed as we use the battery. We're going to just get in front and hold on to P7 into turn 11 and crucially stay where we started. So in the end, nothing gained, you know, nothing lost, but a shame we didn't really maximize that great launch off the line. We got really nice traction on these tires, and you know, like I said, we matched Jonas Martins on the soft tire, but we didn't quite get the space to really cut through like he did. So yeah, on to lap number 3 now. DRS enabled, of course, at this stage of the sprint, and nothing's really happening. We're kind of just following the train. I'm not expecting a lot of action really. Maybe some chaos at the end. Everyone's going to run in a DRS train, and I'm expecting those on softs to drop off. So Jonas might drop back later on in the race on that soft tire. So P6 could be on the cards as we lose the back end. Oh my god. Somehow everybody avoids contact with us as we were sitting near enough on the racing line, and it's a bad spin. Not ideal. As you can see, we somehow keep our car in one piece. I was feeling pretty comfortable. It's a shame. Let's push on anyway. We might still get a few places back. Anyway, that side, we move all the way onto lap number 8 now, which is quite a way into the race. I kept on going. I got my tyres back under control. And as I said before, things can still happen. And that is exactly the case, as now on lap 8, yellow flag, Jonas Martins out the race. And you can see him here. Avoid that. Completely sideways on the racing line, as we also pass Sergio Sabrino. So we get past 2 cars and move up into P12. Right. So yeah, that's what I was hoping for, and that's going to help us out massively, of course, in recovering some places in this sprint race. Not over yet, we might still gain a few more places, you never know. On to lap 9, another yellow flag in turn 1-2. Looks like Max Boss in the Williams has gone off. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's not rejoin for the racing line, please. Bit of a dangerous rejoin there, but luckily we got away okay and no damage caused. Felipe Souza also involved in that incident, but I wasn't quite able to catch up. I tried to push and close in, but I wasn't able to get ahead. So there we go. P11 for the sprint. Check that. Overall though, not ideal. Obviously we started P7, I was hoping for a bit more. Looking at the final results, if you look at Jed Norgrove in P4 and also Harvey Cohen in P6, we should have been about P5 this race. I think that was possible, so bit of a shame we didn't really maximize that result, but no points for us. P11 for the race start. Luckily only a 14 car grid at the same time, not ideal. I hope more people turn up, because you know, 14 cars isn't what you want to be seeing in league racing, and if you're one of the guys in the league watching this, hopefully you guys turn up. Either way, there's your final sprint qualifying result, and we're now going to move into the main event. Right, we ain't got long to dwell about it. Let's get back to it. So we don't have a fresh set of mediums available. By the looks of it, they look used to me. The bar doesn't go up to 100%. I'm going to try the hard tyre. Why not? Let's try something different, right? And I do have a medium, to be fair. Now then, here we go. Another race start. Our last one was great. This time we're on the hard tyre, as the lights are on for the actual Bahrain Grand Prix race. And we're underway. Off the line we go. More or less off okay. Everyone pretty similar this time. Cold tyres, so be careful. And actually a few cars behind getting better start. Sergio Sabrino on the medium getting a great launch in the Alpha Tauri as we make our way into the first couple of corners. We've got a few cars off ahead as it's all kicking off here through turn 2. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Whew. Holy shit. Holy shit. This game, no formation lap with cold tyres, is a spectacle. My heart is in my mouth. Someone clip that please. Somehow we managed to avoid getting any damage in that incident. One of the fast ones are out. Thomas Harvey's out. As you can hear me say, Thomas Harvey's out, which is good because he's one of the faster drivers. So yeah, the main thing is we're still alive and we're in this race. Right, very important that we get within a second of the car ahead. Now, on to the end of lap 2, we've managed to catch back up to the cars ahead and we're part of the DRS train. So things are going well. The 2 Red Bulls out front have broken away. As you can hear me say, the Red Bulls have broken away. Overall, it's not much of a concern. It turns out they were on the medium tyre. Right, DRS enabled. As you can hear me say, DRS enabled as well, so it's a bit easier. That's going to make things a bit more interesting. Now, the Red Bulls will pull away. They're on mediums. They should fall back into the pack later on. Realistically, you know, the ideal strategy for this race is a medium to soft, and that's what I was expecting everyone to go for. I only went for the hard tyre because I thought, you know, I'm P11, I'm quite far back. Maybe it might give me a chance to do something different. But in the end, surprisingly, the majority of the group went for the hard tyre, and obviously had I known, I would have probably switched to a medium. But nonetheless, only the Red Bulls on mediums, and they were doing their thing until lap 4 now, and we're just trying to settle into the race pace a bit. The idea of this race for me was to try and keep my battery charged as high as possible at all times, save tyres and go long for an overcut. I feel like the overcut could be the key as Max Boss runs wide into turn 10, locking up on the turn 9 entry curb. This isn't good. This is going to break the DRS train. Now the bad thing about that, as you can hear me say, is that it's caused a breakup in the DRS train ahead of Matteo Longo. Matteo Longo needs to push and drain everything. So hopefully he does that, because if he doesn't do it, then we're going to fall out the train. Either way, as I was saying, I'm aiming for an overcut here. So I'm trying to save battery, save tyres, and then I'm aiming to drain everything over 1 or 2 laps. The plan here is to take advantage, and you know, the AI, or not AI, other drivers are going to struggle on cold tyres once you leave the pit. So I want to try and overcut on nice warm tyres. I wonder if the top 4 started on mediums. If that's the case, then they might come back to us this race. If one of you could bring up the WR stream on YouTube and let me know what tyre compounds, you know, the leaders are on. Now, in the meantime, you can see Matteo Longo has got out of shape, and like I was saying, I'll take that. There we go. We're just going to take that easy. You know, that's what I was waiting for. A little mistake, something that happened, and that's why we've got the full charge on the battery. You know, in case something happens, we can just bolt and give it everything. And also, of course, fresh tyres as well, keeping that tyre wear nice and high. At the end of the lap, you can see we're actually went purple in sector 2. Longo's got no battery, he'll drop off and the train will break up. It was very important when I passed Longo that I pushed and got back within DRS range of JST and also Daniel Kiedzin up ahead, and we managed to achieve that successfully, which was really important. Let's try and charge some battery now. And as you hear me say now, we're going back to battery saving mode, which is near enough impossible. I mean, you're saving like 1 or 2% per lap around here. It's very, very difficult to recharge battery. On the other hand, fuel looking pretty decent, so yeah, overall the race is going well. It's a decent recovery considering the sprint race issues. On to lap number 10 now, and you can hear me lifting coast quite heavily at this stage, as you know, we're falling into that kind of part of the race now. We're trying to be strategic about our race. Right, Max is going to have a lot of DRS, I think, or ERS should I say, in the Williams, so he might drag Longo back. Now, in the meantime, you saw that Max Boss and Matteo Longo dropped out DRS range. That's because I pushed, and when I got my fastest lap, I managed to drop them out of range. So that was really important. Again, tactical driving. You know, I was waiting for that moment to drop them out of contention. Oh, hang on. In the meantime, we've got a bit of debris on track. Green flag. That's one of the Red Bulls, wasn't it? Or someone else. One of the Red Bulls, I think. Yep. As you can see, I think one of the Red Bulls, which of course was one of the 2 race leaders, is in trouble. Okay, hang on. Yeah, one of the Red Bulls lost their wing. That's their strategy down the toilet. Now that's good news for us because, of course, sliding on the medium, if you do that, that pretty much is going to ruin your race, because now we're all going to be on better tyres whereas the Red Bull has to go into the hard tire, so that's going to be a big advantage for us. The question is, was it Harvey Cohen or Jed Norgrove? Either way, you can see the Red Bull ahead struggling through the corner, so it must be minor damage, but enough damage where it's causing some understeer, and he's actually defending quite heavily, and obviously doing a big favour for his teammate up ahead in the race lead. But you can see it's causing chaos as everyone's trying to get by, and this is perfect for us as we're getting a nice chance here to save some battery and also keep our tyres nice and fresh, as it's all kicking off here through the final corner now as the Red Bull defending while lacking a front wing. The Alpha's out of battery now, so hopefully we see some movement. It's defending quite heavily, and he goes into the pits. But yeah, we're now going to see the Alfa Romeo out of ERS, and I was hoping for Daniel on P5 to get a move on us. I think he's got a pretty big charge, if not a full charge of battery in his Alpine. I'd like to see Daniel get P4 and try to pull away, try and catch up to the cars ahead. Because at this stage, we could actually still win this race, or be in the mix for a podium, because the leaders aren't that far away. So, yeah, we have our first big moment. The first sign the tyres are starting to, wear off a little bit. But I'd like to see Daniel pass Harlan Marcus in the Alpha and make some progress. But it wasn't the case. Daniel was happy sitting behind, saving battery, and nothing was really happening. Either way, as you can see, on to lap 13 now. The formation has kind of, reformed as we get a warning. Not ideal. Max Boss and Matteo Longa are back in the train as well. So, yeah. All right, here we go. It's time for some action then. So the Alpha pits. That's for the medium. This is going to be interesting. Here we go then, pit stop phase as Harlan Marcus comes in, and lap 15 we're going to see JST also pit. So important now that I use the remaining battery to close into within a second of Daniel Kedzen ahead in the Alpine. Now at this stage I had two options. Use this gap to drive into and use the DRS to try and overcut, or go long and go for a soft tire. And two different options. I didn't really know what to expect from the soft tire. I know the guys in Top Split done this a couple of weeks ago, but I was worried about tyre wear, possibly overheating as well. Either way, we can see here on to lap number 16 now. We are going to decide to box, and this is going to be an undercut attempt on Daniel and also an overcut attempt on JST and Harlan Marcus. So here we go. Into the pits. Pretty safe entry. It's safe. Could have pushed it a bit more. Perfect purple into the pit box, and it's going to be a 2.2 second stop as we rejoin perfectly. Right, let's see, cold tyres is going to be a shambles. Got to be very careful. We're going to be racing on pit exit as well, so this is going to be straight into the action at this point. It's going to be close though with the guys I was racing.
Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres.
And here we go then, down to turn 1. You can see there is Harlan Marcus in the Alfa Romeo just behind us as we get the overcut for now, but we are on cold tyres, and that is a massive disadvantage as Marcus goes for the move here. You can see side by side up towards turn number 4. I'm not going to fight it. I don't have, the tyres for it. He's out of battery though, which is good. To be fair, I was behind Marcus, so that's not too bad. I was behind JST, so I've got the undercut on him. Tyres are not up to temp though. I've got to try and push. The good news is that we have overcut JST, and I think I should be able to stay ahead. The issue is I've dropped out of the RS range of Marcus, which I wasn't really hoping for, but I don't have the tyre temp to really push. Oh shit. Whoa, what are you doing, mate? What the hell? Oh, for fuck's sakes. The race leader as well. Unbelievable. Are you fucking shitting me, mate? So calm. Also, race leader as well. Fuck's sake. Now in a massive, massive turn of events, we got taken out by Jed Norgrove, the race leader. Now, I'll give him, respect. Okay, we're still here, we're still with these guys, we're still battling for position. He spoke to me after the race, and for some reason, ghosting was turned off in the lobby settings. Usually, that would have been a ghost, but it wasn't this time. So, I can understand his point of view.
Okay, be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now.
I think it's ropes. But we now have minor wing damage, and I can feel it a little bit on the front right side. I'll try and hang on, but wing damage is a bad thing now since the latest patch. Before the patch you could probably get away with it, but not anymore. But yeah, as I was saying, it was unfortunate. I can understand his point of view. I'm not really that mad about it because of that reason. However, it doesn't feel too bad at the moment. We'll see through here. he is the race, or he was the race leader, and that is a massive factor in this race. It's through the left-handers. Right-handers are fine, and luckily it's a clockwise circuit, so that's not too bad. Now, as you can hear me say, we was kind of analysing the damage, and it feels okay. It's going to be manageable, but it's not ideal. Shame, because if you look at Daniel Kedzen, he rejoined well ahead of us on soft tyres, and he's battling for the race win. So, considering we was right behind him, in hindsight, I really wish I'd just gone long and basically stayed within, let the games begin, his DRS and gone for the soft tyre, and that could have been a game changer. I could have avoided, you know, getting caught up in that incident, and it could have been a different race. Nonetheless, all the way until lap 26, it took a long time. I just basically went into massive recharge mode on the battery. I was trying to save up as much as I could, and we're now going to start to push here and look for a move. I was feeling confident, the damage was manageable. I felt like I had more pace even with the damage. So yeah, we managed to, you know, save our tyres, sitting behind these guys, recharge the battery a bit, and I feel like I could finish P5. Shit, I wanted to go for it there, but didn't get any traction. Now, we had a poor exit out of turn 10. I was hoping to make a move here and kind of catch him out, but it didn't really work out. Either way, I want to see if I can get this move done early, you know, not on the last lap, because I'm going to go for it now, I think. I want to pass all three of these guys if possible. Longue and Max have no ERS left at all whatsoever, so they're completely dry on the battery front, so that is a massive advantage for us. You can see me here using a bit of energy just to close up a little bit into the final corner as I want to set up the overtake onto the pit straight. Now, it's not going to be easy because, of course, everyone has DRS, but we're going to give it a best shot anyway. We've had a pretty good exit. You can see here we're really damn close as we now start to use some of the battery here. We're going to not use all of it into turn 1 though. Oh, not ideal with a lock up. Very dangerous move. We locked up a front, and my god, the flashbacks to WOR Bahrain last season on F1 2021 came back to my mind. But yeah, that was a scary one and a bit of a scruffy one for me. I hold my hand up, that wasn't the best move. But again, maybe partly down to the damage. Not able to late brake as much as I normally would do with a bit less front wing. Either way, we're still going at it here, side by side throughout the entire second sector. You can see there Matteo locking up a front right as we get the run. Now down to turn 9, 10, we just juice ahead with the battery advantage. We can use that all the time, whereas Matteo has nothing left. So we get the upper hand and we do move to P7. Not a clear move at all. Massive lock up into turn 1. Nonetheless, on to the final lap of the race. The pace wasn't quite there. I tried to push, but we dropped out of DRS range from the cars ahead during that battle, and that's kind of the nail in the coffin. You know, combine that with front wing damage, I didn't quite have enough to catch up. On for a personal best on this last lap, using up all the battery, but it wasn't to be, and we're going to finish in P6 with the benefit of Max's penalty. P6, we'll take that. Good recovery after spinning in the sprint. Now, I don't 100% know for certain if the penalty got confirmed or removed or not, but I assume it stuck because he got the 3-second penalty quite early on in the race, so I would have been surprised if he didn't get another warning. Either way, P6 for us in the end. We score our first points of the season, and we'll take that. Listen, at the end of the day, it wasn't the best race, but it also wasn't terrible. The man who won the first race, Leona Martins, didn't score any points in the sprint or the race, so it's going to help, you know, keep the championship nice and tight. Either way, P6 for us, and in hindsight, of course, what could have been. You know, Daniel Kedzen finished in P3 in the end with a fastest lap, so I reckon we could have been in that podium scrap for sure. A bit of a shame we weren't really there, but you can see also Harlem Marquez finishing P4 on the medium, so it still worked okay. You know, we was behind Harlem after the pit stops. It just happens that we got caught up in the incident, so it could have been a good podium scrap for us this race. And of course, had we not spun in the sprint, who knows, but that was on me. In terms of what I can't control and what was unlucky for me was the crash, and you know, that's the way it goes. Either way, guys, there is your final running order, and yeah, our first points of the season. If you enjoyed the race and the sprint, leave a like and subscribe. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. That would be pretty awesome if we could try and hit that goal. And I stream these races every Sunday night on my Twitch around 8 PM UK time. Link down below. Go check it out on all my links. And yeah, as always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them in a moment. As always, a massive shout out to the members for supporting the content. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in my next one. Until then, take care, and let's go back from me.